I like to give any game a go, even genres I don't play often. I'm not the biggest fan of sports, racing, battle royales, or competitive online multiplayer FPS games. But I'll still give them a chance to change my mind. This approach to genres makes it obvious when I dislike a game. I usually know why. They're probably not high on my favourites list. So when I pick up a game that sounds like it ticks all the boxes, there's something I'll get into and enjoy, but I don't, it's interesting for me to figure out why. I can't just leave it as that. I love to analyse and delve deeper into my brain to understand myself a little better. Before I get into it, when I say I dislike a game, it's purely my opinion, experience and perception. I don't enjoy every game I try, no one does. But I do acknowledge all the hard work and talent that goes into development, even for games I don't play. We all like different things and have different tastes, and that's what makes talking about video games so much fun. I got my PS4 in 2015, and I remember looking at Watch Dogs while browsing other games and thinking, that sounds awesome. Causing chaos like GTA, but also being able to hack things in the city, snoop on people and steal their money. Just general madness. But when I put the game on, it felt bland. The plot was dark and gritty, Aiden, the main character, was moody and serious. But there wasn't a whole lot that made me want to follow the story and see where it went. So I decided maybe Watch Dogs 2 is a little better. They may have ironed out some of the mechanics from the first game. Marcus, the main character, and the story itself seem a little more light-hearted in the sequel. So I sat down, looking forward to falling head first into an interesting, gripping story of DedSec, wanting them to succeed and helping them do so. But after the tutorial intro, I felt no real connection to the other characters. Why was I supposed to like them? Because we all had the same goal? Bring down the big corporation? There was also almost too much information being thrown at me in such a short space of time, and I couldn't keep up. When introduced to the other characters, I thought there'd be some kind of event that brought the group closer, or gave them a personal connection to one another. Sitara came off as the stoic, edgy member of this band of misfits, whose sole purpose was to protest against big corporations, gain as many followers as possible, and generally stick it to the man. This is okay, but it seems a little one-sided. There's no real personal reason for her to be in this fight. She just doesn't like Big Brother. On the flip side, she holds her own when surrounded by men, and is very focused on her own goals. Horatio is kind of forgettable and doesn't make a huge impact, to the point where he's not even featured on the box art. But he's the down-to-earth character that helps ground the player and adds a little reality to the game. Not everything is crazy technology and chaos. Sometimes good old strategy is needed. Josh is the quiet genius, and I like that he wasn't singled out because he was socially awkward or had trouble fitting in. His quirks were endearing. Wrench was probably the most interesting of the group, but that rested on his appearance more than anything. He makes and breaks stuff and has a constantly psyched up positive personality. These are quite stereotypical traits that are seen in many games, but they make likeable characters who people enjoy seeing. Individually, I wasn't sure of these characters, but as a whole, this little group worked well together. I was a little confused that after only knowing each other for a day or two, this exchange happened.
Yo, Marcus, have you seen the trailer for the new Jimmy Siska movie?
No, it's out. Hey, pull it up, man.
No, not on this. For this, we need perfect sound, we need a big screen, we need to be comfy, we need quiet.
Have you seen it yet?
No, man, I waited for you.
You're the best.
How did Wrench know Marcus was a fan? Why are they acting like best friends? Did I completely miss a conversation? I guess we're supposed to assume that everyone got to know each other during the party, but I would have liked to see how that went. I didn't write the game off too early, and decided to put more hours into it to see if it was just a weak intro. So I did some driving, which I quite enjoyed. Took me back to GTA games of yore, where you could just drive around and enjoy the trip. Environments, buildings, people, all changing just by driving to a new neighbourhood. Starting quite far away from DedSec hackerspace and making the player drive over the iconic Golden Gate Bridge was a great way to show off this bustling world. This is a very good looking game, made with great care and attention to detail. The streets feel busy enough and the traffic isn't too heavy or light. I found myself standing on rooftops and just looking out over the city, seeing people get on with their day and hearing interactions as I run past. Not always positive.
Hey, go home and fuck your mother, you inbred piece of shit!
Hacking phones and listening to voicemails or reading texts also gives you little stories that are going on in the city.
So he's a very small guy, looks kind of sketchy, but has this beautiful voice. Just hangs out at the Power Street bar and sings Unchained Melody.
Though insignificant, they're just little hits of personality and world building. I was enjoying stealing money from people while walking around, so when I found you could do the same while driving, I thought great. What I didn't anticipate was the amount of brain power it would require. Keeping an eye on the minimap, the road, the cars, and then remembering to hit the right buttons to hack anyone around you caused me to hit many trees or blow up things I didn't mean to. I thought maybe I need to practice a little more, but in the end gave up and just focused on driving. I also found it amusing how the phone screen takes up so much space, so when you're driving it's hard to see where you're going. Is this social commentary on using your phone while driving, or is it just a design aspect? Either way, using your phone while driving is another thing to look at and pay attention to, so pull over. I quite like the concept of stealth in this series, hacking cameras to look into other rooms, blowing up fuse boxes and cause a distraction, or unlock doors from the inside. But in practice, it was, again, a lot to learn and use. I'm not new to stealth games and sometimes quite enjoy being sneaky, but Watch Dogs 2 seems to engage it differently. I tried sneak attacking a guard, but got seen by another guard who was walking past. Okay, that's on me. So I tried again and realised you can't pick up bodies to hide them once you've taken them out. But NPCs can be alerted by them. So I would have to lure a guard over to me, take them out, and make sure this all happens out of sight of other NPCs. Just seemed like a lot of work. Also, you were almost forced to hack items in order to succeed in stealth, such as blowing things up to take out a guard rather than sneaking up behind them, or needing to cause a distraction in order to avoid detection. You couldn't just hide in the shadows and hope for the best. This could be seen as a challenge to some, finding new and fun ways to sneak through a building, but it was just a little too complex for me. I enjoy basic stealth mechanics. Give me too many options and I can get confused. I realised I'd been playing the game in such a way as to not shoot anyone, keep things silent and use weapons only when needed. Once I got it into my head that I could fire away, like in GTA, it did get much easier, but also brought with it a strange feeling of not completing the missions properly. Let me explain. I went into a building, got caught, and went guns blazing on all the guards. Then, after all the drama, I just left the building without any hassle. DedSec feels like a peaceful protest kind of group, as in no physical harm to people, or at least that's how they came off to me. So not using the sneak mechanics to their fullest, coupled with run and gun gameplay, just feels a little off or incorrect. I also wiped out a load of security guards at a film set and walked away as if nothing happened, and that Marcus did this kind of thing every day. Just a little disconnected, but I was thankful to have the option when I failed in stealth. I did like the little jumper robot. moving around without drawing too much attention to myself, spying on the guards or hacking small terminals. It was helpful when discovering the layout of a building, but with the guards constantly moving around, it wasn't that helpful in the long run. I still liked it though. Give me a tiny jumping robot any day. Hacker vision is fine. It imitates a mechanic that's been used in different games for a while now. Witcher sensors, Assassin's Creed Eagle Vision, Horizon Zero Dawn's Focus, to name a few. Doesn't quite have the same amount of usefulness in my opinion, with so many items inside and out being highlighted, and sometimes hard to identify. The static overlay is a nice aesthetic touch, but it can be a distraction, or even visually noisy. Tagging enemies while in this mode is good, they show up red even through walls. But once you exit, the enemies are just little blue dots on the minimap. They don't retain the red outline. This is a minor nitpick, as I'm used to other games keeping enemies highlighted. The missions have a fun side to them, but if you don't pay attention to a phone call or two, you can get really confused while you're going places and doing things. One mission was to scam a pharmaceuticals boss due to him raising the price of life-saving medicine. This was done by finding his favourite rapper, Bobo. We hack the rapper's phone and make a soundboard of voice clips. Then we call the pharma boss's phone, pretending to be Bobo, saying he wants to exclusively sell his latest album to the boss. This makes the boss give us his bank details, which we use to donate money to charity.
No.
I missed this entire conversation because I was still learning how to use hacker vision and was busy stealing money and randomly setting phones off. So I just followed waypoints, and when I got to the farmer boss's house, I had no idea what was going on. But DedSec were really excited I'd just done something. I also realised there was too much going on at key moments. Like when I reached the rapper's house to hack his phone, a news video popped up with a character I didn't know I was supposed to take note of as she was going to be important later. But having the news audio and visual, plus the auto-lock hack pop-up, plus the NPC chatter and the mission objectives, no wonder I was so confused what was going on.
More than just lawyers. The counselor's private life was...
I get that it's meant to be a reflection of society's constant influx of information and media, but I play games because of the lack of realism, not so I can feel like I'm drowning in notifications. I know, I have to hit L1 to interact or bring up the available hacks, but it feels a little weird if I didn't, like I was missing out somehow. I don't know exactly how I would fix this. Maybe put a little picture of who is calling me next to their subtitles. More obvious character and enemy highlighting when not in hacker vision. Clearer hacking icons, possibly using different colours, so I can distinguish between money and recharge at a glance, rather than having to read the caption on top of noting what icon was where. I would accidentally blow up someone's phone because I was just hitting X and not looking at what the icon was. Sorry. I did like the spin on gaining weapons and gadgets through 3D printing. It was a very modern take and was so much more interesting than just walking into a shop. Plus, I always appreciate customization. Having a smartphone with apps for upgrading, researching, mission details, and accessing the map was cute. Very reminiscent of GTA 5. The apps were also a mix of in-game and real-world options, such as having the Ubisoft Club and Noodle maps in the same menu, which I really liked and maintained immersion. I wish it wasn't a floating window though, and looked more like a phone, but it fits with the style of the other pop-ups. Watch Dogs 2 was a good idea, the whole franchise was. Putting a modern, technology-based approach into an already established and loved genre that's open-world, third-person shooters. It was meant to build upon the foundation that GTA and Saints Row laid down years prior, but I feel like it almost did too much. It was too ambitious. I like open-world games to have variety and customization, but you can be hit with too much choice sometimes, which may be intimidating. The biggest downside for me was the HUD, and being overwhelmed by notifications, mission objectives, and story beats that I was meant to be paying attention to, but it all got lost in the noise. It's not a bad game at all. I've played worse. It was just too much in some places and not enough in others. I also might experience games differently to other people, and I enjoy emotionally investing in a game and the characters. I would have liked a little more from the group, maybe backstory or seeing Marcus talking to them about something personal and allowing the player to see their relationship and decide if they like a character or not. It just seems like everyone gets along because they're part of DedSec. Some people just like getting straight into a story and experiencing the plot and completing the missions. The great thing about gaming is you can experience a game however you want. There are no real rules, except what exists within the confines of the gaming world you're playing in. As I said in the beginning, I tried Watch Dogs, and now I've tried the sequel. I might play Legion as it takes a huge step away from the other two games, and it will be interesting to see if it's going in the right direction for me. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit your favourite combination of buttons down below.